I'm your host, Fat Dag, and you're listening to Wise Advice. Now, my weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at fatdag.com and follow along on Twitter at Wise Advice. Send me your comments, your questions, your celebrations, all to be included as part of the show. Before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Well, hello there. Just checking in the accountability piece of this show. Always, I'm at 44 for the day. Over in 34 dailies is my allotment. So I dug 10 into the weeklies. Even though I didn't track earlier in the week, still kind of tracked them in as weeklies here. And today was just a math error. I neglected accidentally to log my breakfast. And when it came time to dinner, I opened my points and I ate the amount of points I had left. And then I finally looked at the day and like, this didn't seem right. And then I noticed that, hey, I just actually didn't track my breakfast. So that's what put me into the weeklies. So simple math error, but man, that stuff happens. I'm not going to let it get me down. I just kind of roll with it and move on at that point. So activity-wise, 2 days back off vacation. The scale is exactly where I want to be. Activity-wise, like I said, I'm going to go in tomorrow, start fresh, and ramp up the activity again. So I got to get pumping back in that arena, and just because I want to, not because I need to, or not because. But man, I really enjoy getting a good workout in. So that's where we are there. I want to dive right into the inbox. Mary out of Oregon writes in, and this is a great email. It's going to go for a second. We're going to say. Hi, she says, hi, I eat a lot of fruit to satisfy my craving for sweets. My Weight Watcher leader says if I consume more than 5 servings daily that I need to track the extra as smart points, which I've yet to figure out how many points that should be per extra fruit serving. I'd like your opinion on this and what you think about eating so much fruit. I'm fine with tracking it, but not sure how to calculate the points. I know me, and I think 5 oranges is better for me than 5 cookies. So, Mary, I agree with you. So I don't want to get into the scenario here where we pit one Weight Watchers leader against the other because, I don't think that's a healthy scenario. I think there's more than one way to work this plan. And I think as they're offering advice and they're offering clues to get you in there, they probably have access to seeing you in a more routine environment. So they probably can see your tracker a little better than I can. And that's just, an indication of how they're trying to assist. So with all that being said, when it comes to my journey, I specifically don't log in fruit into my tracker. I don't think I generally don't eat more than 5 servings a day. There have probably been occasions when I have. And then those days I just don't track it. I don't think that, extra apples or extra oranges is what put me into a Weight Watchers meeting. I think that I had bigger issues than that. And I think if I'm eating an extra banana or an extra orange, it's significantly better than me grabbing an extra cookie. And probably the orange and apple is preventing me from going overboard. So it's all about staying mindful to the process. If you're mindful to the process and you're focused and you're saying, you know what, I'm choosing this orange because it's going to keep me from eating something else, and it truly does that job, then that's up to you whether or not you put it in the tracker and count those points. And as far as calculating the points, there's got to be a way to do that. I honestly haven't looked into that to see. But, I think I remember back in the days the banana was about 3 points, but certainly don't quote me on that. We're going to have to go ahead and look them up on our own to see what the point value is if we go track them in that direction. But, there's a lot of different ways. I see a lot of people who actually do put their fruit in. They put it in at 0 points because, fruit does have calories. It absolutely does. And so it does have sugar. We do need to be aware of the consumption of what we're eating. So it really should go in the tracker so that we can, look back at a good week or a bad week and see what all we ate. And, if you don't like the results you got that week, then you can look back at the week and you can see that you had 5 servings of oranges per day. And if you don't track it, then you don't have that ability to look backwards to try and figure out what the plan looks like going forward. So in a lot of ways, I agree. If you're eating more than 5 servings per day every single day, then yes, we need to account for that. If you're grabbing, the 5th serving is once a week and on occasion, then that's up to you as to how you want to track it. But all of this thing works by basically you live week to week. You start at the beginning of the week, you track, and you put everything in the tracker that you're eating. And then at the end of the week, you hop on the scale. If you like the results from the scale, then you repeat the week. You do a lot of the same things that you did to get you through. You continue on that same path. If you get to the end of the week and you don't like the results on the scale, then you look back at the week and say, what could I have done differently? Maybe I didn't need this or that, or maybe I could have done without this, or maybe I should have tracked my fruit. But if you're not tracking accurately, then when you look back and you don't get the results you want on the scale, and you're looking back to see what how to make adjustments, you don't have those data points to adjust from. So yeah, you can do it either way, and so really it's all about your weekly results. If you like your results, keep doing what you're doing. If you don't like your results, then take the advice of your leader and continue tracking them and logging them in, and then account for points if you go over 5. But this is your journey. This is your chance to figure out what's working for you and what's not working for you. So hope that helps a little bit. Mary continues on and writes that she dusted off her husband's elliptical today, and you have a goal to use it each day this week. Not my favorite, but I'm giving it a honest try. I was surprised I could only do 15 minutes on it, planned on 30. So my goal this week is to add 5 minutes each day to hopefully build up to 30 by the end of the week. So, Mary, the other thing too on this is this is where I would add in let's work on attendance. Let's work on an attendance goal and not your performance goal. What I'm reading through here, it looks a lot like you're working significantly on a performance goal. You set out to do 30 minutes on the elliptical, you could only do 15. So because you can only do 15, you want to add 5 a day until you get back to 30. My plan for you, if I were to look at you and say, here's how I would recommend it, I would say, let's take that. If you can only do 15 minutes, and that 15 minutes is what made you spend, let's back it down a notch. Let's go to 10 minutes. But instead of 10 minutes, just once a week or twice a week, let's go 10 minutes, 5 days a week, 6 days a week, 30 days in a row. And at the end of the month, let's see what that looks like. So if you go for an entire month at just 10 minutes a day, we've already known that if you can do 10 minutes a day because you just did 15. So we back it down so that you can do 10 minutes 3, 4, 5 days in a row. At the end of the month, you will have had built yourself a healthy habit. You will have been on the elliptical for 30 days or, depending on how many you do a week, but you will have been on the elliptical for an entire month. Now, judging from your email, it said you dusted it off. It probably has been a while since we've been on the elliptical. So the fact that we're going to use it 30 days in a row is probably the most this thing's been used in a long time. So we can't do 30 days in a row at 30 minutes. We can't do 30 days in a row at 15 minutes because 15 minutes was your limit. So back down your limit, get down to 10 minutes, and then go consistently. And then so what'll happen is the brain will start learning, hey, we get on the elliptical every single day. And at some point, the 10 minutes won't be doing enough for you. So do 5 or 6 days in a row before you make that assessment. And then your 30 days, your 60 days, your 90 days. And as you continue on building that attendance goal, your body will ask you for more performance. And you'll recognize those signals. But at that point, you're already going daily and you're using that machine daily. So you're going to get the benefit of the long-term results versus, just through trying to do 30 minutes now and never touching it again, which is not going to help us. So thanks, Mary, for that. Appreciate the email. Folks, if you have questions like that, I'll just kind of answer them how I would answer them. What would I do if I was in this scenario? And so to go to fatdag.com, click on podcast, send me an email at onair@fatdag.com, and I'll try to work it into the show. And it's just easier for us to kind of talk like this. There's a lot of posts on Connect, a lot of posts on Facebook, and they kind of get buried after a while, but this gives us a chance to kind of scroll through. So Shira writes in, and so her questions, she starts off with, hi there, fabulous podcast. Well, thank you very much. She made Lifetime a few months ago, about a month and a half ago to be exact. Connect and her meetings were a big reason why, especially Connect. Connect is so uplifting and positive and a fabulous source of information. So I couldn't agree more. Connect is the game changer. Connect is a private community where we can get together and we can discuss things that we wouldn't normally discuss in a typical social media platform. What's really cool about Connect is when you post something on Connect, it doesn't take long for someone else to come through and say, yeah, I've done that. I've been there. don't worry, we can do this. We can do it together, because I was there and I've made it out. And I've succeeded, and I was able to conquer the challenge. So I completely agree, Shira, that Connect is a game changer. And so if you're not in Connect, if you're getting this podcast some other way and you're hearing about it and you're kind of curious what Connect is, it's a proprietary social media application inside the Weight Watchers platform. And so the beauty of it is it's only available for members of who are currently paid members of Weight Watchers. So it really keeps the community private and it keeps the community flowing. And there is a ton of great support in there. And all of you as my wingman, when I first asked for help in the journey, you answered in a resounding yes, and boom, we got to goal. So very cool. So completely agree that Connect is a game changer. So, and very cool. The other thing, again, last one here that I'm going to go into, Arlene out of Toms River, New Jersey, writes in with an email. She says, "Hi, I live in New Jersey, and I find your videos and podcasts on YouTube to be so inspirational, and it's the only thing that's kept me from not giving up." Well, we'll go dig into that in a second. I work in an industry where I cannot be on Facebook or Twitter, but I'm able to get to YouTube, which has been a game changer for me. I'm in the weight loss phase of my journey, and I had my thyroid taken out, so it's important now, more than ever, for me not to give up. This is my third time on Weight Watchers, and it will be my last. So topics she wants me to dive into is stress eating and mindless eating after dinner. So we'll get into that. But first I want to address the piece where it says that, the podcast is the only thing that's kept you from not giving up. And I appreciate that. And I think that's very, very kind and very generous of you. What's kept you from not giving up is deep down, you haven't recognized it yet, but deep down, you know the why. You know your why, you're focused on your why, and you are determined to get the goal. So there are tools along the way that you're using to help you get there. This is one of them, but you know what you want. Because podcast or not, is you can give up if this isn't something you want and you're not willing to fight for it, you could easily give up. So this isn't the reason you're here. It may be a tool that you're using to keep you mindful. It keeps reminding you that what you're doing, and that's the whole intent. That's what I'm trying to convey, and that's why I do this daily. Is because I think between meetings, even myself between meetings, it's 7 full days. There's a lot that happens in a 7-day span. So you have to be mindful at every meal. You have to be mindful at every day. And so I'm hoping that this avenue gives us that ability to do that. But when we talk about stress eating, we talk about mindless eating. I'd be curious to see your thoughts as well. Go to facebook.com/wiseadvice, and when this show pops up, give me your comments on how you handle mindful eating or not mindful or stressful eating, and after dinner just kind of eating. And the way I handle those is I recognized that a lot of my bad choices came in late in the evening as well. I tried to find some 0-point foods. So dill pickles is a good one. Apples, bananas, oranges, we talked about earlier. If I felt the need to go ahead and grab a snack late at night, generally that's a habit, right? It was a bad habit that I had to break. I wasn't eating them out of hunger. I was essentially eating them out of boredom, or eating them out of a habit of, when I sit down in this chair, I instantly grab, a bag of chips. If I'm watching this show, I grab this. So you have to break those habits. And so the way you break those habits is to be mindful of what you're eating. And a couple of things that I did is I would ask myself, would I rather have a bag of chips, or would I rather make goal? When you put it like that, it's real easy, isn't it? I mean, so would you rather have a handful of potato chips, or would you rather hop on the scale and make goal? Well, so for me, it was pretty clear. So I had to ask myself that every single time. Every time I went somewhere new, every time I found something new, the question I would ask myself is, yes, I know that looks delicious. I know it looks great. I know I've had it before. I know it is delicious. But do I want that right now, or do I want to make goal? Do I want this week's weigh-in to be a good weigh-in the sense where the scale, it actually rewards me for the effort that I did this week, or not? And so I was focused at every single opportunity. And before ever I grabbed everything, you have to stay in that mindset to not just give in to the temptation. And the only way to do that is to stay tuned in to your brain, to your why. So you got to stay focused. You got to stay determined. And you got to, more than anything, you got to stay disciplined to say no. What I want right now is I want to be healthy. I want to see results that I'm looking for, and I want to make goal. And when you ask yourself that, it becomes a lot easier to say no to the things that don't work and fall in line with your goals. So when it comes to stress eating, it's a very, very similar response. I've been to a lot of stress classes, I've been taking a lot of stress management courses, and I've yet to find an instructor that says when you're really stressed out, go eat. Generally, the instructor is going to tell you, work on some time management, make a to-do list, delegate some of your tasks, prioritize your tasks. All those things are things that you do to handle stress, not eat. You're not going to find a single instructor that's going to say, hey, if you're really stressed out, a pizza is the answer. So how we turn to that as a society, I don't know how we got there. We all do it. I've been there. So I'm not saying anything that's that we haven't all done, but that's not going to align with our goal. So again, you go focus on your goal. My goal this week, set a goal for the week. I have an attendance goal. I want to weigh in. I have an attendance goal. I want to make sure I make it to the meeting. I have an attendance goal. I want to get to the gym 5 days this week. And then I say, I also have a long-term goal. I want to hit 5%. I want to hit 10%. I want to hit my goal. All of those things are possible. You hear every single day, you see someone in Connect reaching one of these goals, reaching one of these milestones. And they do that because they stay focused and disciplined to the process. And you can do it too. It's absolutely doable. But you have to adjust your thinking differently than we were thinking in the past. So I hope that helps you. And folks, the same thing. If you want to write in, I'd love to answer your emails on the air, on air at fatdag.com. You can click on the show notes. I'll put the phone number in there, and you can simply call in and leave a voicemail. I'll try and splice the audio in. 317-662-4214 is the number to do that. Reach out on Facebook, reach out on Connect, #WiseAdvice on Connect. Facebook and Twitter, it's @WiseAdvice. And I'll do my best to get them answered on the show, and I'll answer them exactly how I would answer them. So folks, that's going to do it for this time. Remember that losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goals and go after it. I wish you good focus.